Have you ever been sad and cried for hours? Well, an orca did, and it got stuck in some rocks. What happened then? How was he rescued? And what did the rescuers see? Want to know? Watch the video. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're like me, you love a good story. And what's better than a good story with a happy ending? This video will tell you about an orca stuck in rocks. He cried for hours until rescuers arrived, but then something incredible happened. What was that? How did the orca get stuck in the rocks? To explore this, you must listen to the story and watch the video until the end. Before we start the story, subscribe to the channel and like the video. One morning in July 2015, along the coast of British Columbia, a young female orca became stranded on dry land. You probably would expect to see something other than an orca doing this. Orcas, commonly known as killer whales, are the largest dolphin species and go by the name killer whales. These spotted and spotless creatures hunt in packs throughout these oceans. Killer whales, orcas, are noted for being charismatic, attractive, and exceptionally clever. These characteristics have earned them a particular place in the hearts of animal enthusiasts and conservationists. The killer whale is known as an apex predator due to its position at the very top of the marine food chain. It is how the killer whale got its moniker. These clever animals have developed a highly complex language that allows them to communicate with one another. They can even use this language to coordinate their hunting operations. Even though people have spent decades working to safeguard whales and other marine life, 6 of the 13 great whales are now considered endangered. Whales are at the very top of the marine food chain and play an important part in the ocean's ecosystem. In addition, there is a stop to all commercial whaling and a prohibition on exporting whale products across international borders. Despite this, some still hunt whales and use them for financial or personal advantage. Several global organizations dedicated to wildlife conservation will conduct training courses for residents of regions with a high incidence of strandings to teach them how to save endangered animals. So, a shocking incident occurred when during one summer evening, a group of killer whales ventured into Hartley Bay in British Columbia in the early morning hours in search of food. A young female orca made a blunder that, in her inexperience, may have ended her life. She got into trouble by swimming too close to the coast and found herself stuck on some rocks. To make matters worse, the tide was also dropping. The poor orca was in such a state of panic that it cried for help. Thankfully, someone who had a passing familiarity with marine mammals heard her and knew who to contact to get assistance. She was in excruciating discomfort and suffering. People who were the first to see the beached whale, called the United States Coast Guard, came ashore to help keep the whale cool by spraying it with seawater and driving away marine birds hovering nearby looking for a meal. Officials did eventually arrive to relieve the volunteers of their duties. It was not as easy as tying a line to the stranded whale and hauling her back to the ocean. The jagged rocks that were coated in barnacles would have caused severe injury. The only thing that could be done was to sit there and pray that the water would be deep enough for her to extricate herself when the tide came back in. Meanwhile, it was extremely necessary to shield her from the sun and maintain an adequate hydration level for her skin. The rescue workers soaked the orca with water while covering her with towels and continuing their efforts for the following 8 hours. One of the people who came to the victim's aid, George Fisher, remembered what happened. At first, she was worried out. You could tell that her breathing was getting a little bit faster, but after some time had passed, I believe that she became aware that we were there to assist her. The Guardians from Hartley Bay and Whale Point spent the day working together to keep the orca moist and at a comfortable temperature. It was wrapped in small sheets to protect the sensitive skin on its body from the sun, and it was given regular baths with water drawn from a hose that was tied to a tank until the tide returned more than 8 hours later. During the time that volunteers were attempting to aid the orca, some of the volunteers claimed that the orca continued sobbing. In a post they shared on Facebook, the group explained that they put together a water pump and grabbed as many sheets as we could. It was a team effort, and fortunately, this transitory orca understood, at least on some level, that we were attempting to help, the researcher said. Images shared on social media show well-intentioned people giving the orca buckets of water to keep it hydrated. Around 2 in the afternoon, nearly 6 hours after the whale was discovered for the first time. The tide had risen high enough to enable it to refloat itself and swim back into the ocean. A spokesman for the NOAA named Julie Fair claimed that the animal moved a bit slowly at first and lingered around a little before swimming away. The government was awaiting confirmation that the orca, which officials say is a juvenile from the transient population of Bigg's killer whales on the west coast, was given the name T146D for classification and tracking, had rejoined its pod. According to researcher Jared Towers of Canada's Department of Fisheries and Oceans, who monitors whale movements, at least 5 other killer whales from the waters around Prince of Wales Island had been stranded over the last 20 years, and all of them survived. The department provided this information. According to what he said to Alaska Public Media, they've all gone on to survive and live normal, healthy lives after being stranded, and they've all rejoined their families after being stranded. There's a strong probability it's caught up with them now, and after spending some time out of the water, it's just living a normal life as if nothing ever happened, you said. I don't think anyone knows exactly when this whale beached itself or the circumstances, but if I had to guess, I'd say that hunting harbor seals were the driving force behind it. It is common knowledge that whales may pursue seals and sea lions closer to land, which can lead to the whales becoming trapped in shallow water. A boat captain named Chance Strickland, who anchored his vessel so that his crew could come ashore and assist the whale, told the New York Times that he could hear the whale calling out to other members of its pod swimming nearby. He said, "I don't speak a lot of whales, but it didn't look like it was super thrilled. I don't speak a lot of whales. It appeared as though tears were falling from its eyes. It was a sad event overall." The beaching of the whale occurred just 1 day after an earthquake with a magnitude of 8.2 struck off the coast of Alaska. Although the earthquake momentarily triggered a tsunami warning, Fair stated that the event was not an influence. Similarly, many other rescuers occasionally gave their statements, but not all were recorded. The desirable thing is that the crying orca was saved and could join back to her pod. The videos demonstrate that humans have the capability and the desire to free creatures that have been hurt or trapped. We should all make efforts to safeguard these adorable little creatures that cannot communicate with us, and we should all do our part to save such endangered species of whales. However, at the moment, the aid that we provide to animals in these dilemmas could be more frequent and extensive. It is frequently hampered by inadequate money, a lack of understanding, and insufficient personnel. Since we do not believe in speciesism and are aware that even non-human animals are capable of feeling pain, we must come to terms with the fact that we have a responsibility to assist any living things which are in danger, regardless of whether they are found in our homes or the wild. With this, we must wrap up the video. We hope you like the story and want to share it within your circle. Also, remember to subscribe to the channel and like the video before leaving. Leave your thoughts about this story in the comment section below. Waiting to see you in the next video. Have a great day.